Hello everybody, we are back once more at UKGE and I'm joined by Dave from Effekt Publishing to talk about an upcoming project using the Year Zero engine. So, I can see a cowboy aiming right at me. If I was shorter, I'd be safer. Tell me what's going on here then.
Hi, thanks very much. I'm Dave Seamark. You might know me from working with Free League, but this is a new venture that Matthew and I, my co-host on our podcast, have kicked off. A new company called Effekt Publishing, and this is our first game, Tales of the Old West, which we are kickstarting later this summer, hopefully August, latest September. But we're really excited about it. It's using the Year Zero engine from Free League, with enough, with the right tweaks to give it the right kind of Western feel. We're really excited about it. We've been working on this game now for about 5 years, and finally decided it was time to, bring it to fruition. The game itself is intended to be gritty. It's intended to be as authentic as we can make it. There's no vampires, there are no zombies, no aliens, no tentacles in this game. The evil that you come across is the evil that's in the heart of other men and women, and you have to deal with that. It's set in the 1870s, so a few years after the Civil War, a few years after the emancipation of all the enslaved people who were there. So the world is very much changing, and it's a world of opportunity, it's a world of danger, it's a world of risk and reward. And you play anyone on the frontier. So your character will have their big dream, so they'll have an objective in life. So it might be something as simple as to find a place to call home and raise a family. It might be to create the best Appaloosa herd that the West has ever seen. It could be anything you like, but that is what drives your character. What keeps them going, though, when times are difficult, is their faith. That's not necessarily religious faith, although religious faith was a very big part of the 19th century West. But that can be faith in yourself, it could be faith in your gun, it can be faith in your friends or your family, or it could be faith in God if that's what you want to play. But there's absolutely no need to do that if you don't want to. And that drives our push mechanic. So everyone who knows the Year Zero engine, you get a chance to push your roll if you want, and your faith allows you to do that. You can earn faith whilst you're playing the game if you do the right things. If you groom your horse and spend some time chilling out, you can earn a point of faith. But losing your faith is a bad thing. So you'll all have your big dream, you'll all have your faith. But one of our biggest inspirations behind the game is Deadwood. Yeah. And we love the feel of the town, the community being a real key part of the whole genre. And so in the campaign game for Tales of the Old West, the town is really important. Your player characters can support the town if they make little sacrifices or do things specifically to help the town grow. The town will prosper. Then it'll help them. If you've got a shop in town, it'll do better. If you run a saloon, you'll get more nice people coming. If you get a sheriff in town, there'll be fewer bad guys causing trouble. If you neglect the town, though, and just exploit it, then when you need it the most, it won't be there for you, and you have to face the West alone. So that's our kind of philosophy behind the game: gritty, dangerous, as authentic and realistic as we can make it. We want to be very respectful of the history. We're not hiding anything, but we're not overplaying anything. We're not wanting people to revel in the nasty parts of the history, but that is there and you can't escape it. And we want the game to reflect that, but in a way that allows the players to have a lot of fun.
It sounds like it's going to be a fascinating setup. It's rare that we see an out-and-out historical Western these days. Years ago... I love our voice from the sky. Years ago, some friends of mine published a very small Western game called El Paso in Northern Ireland, and a fella did a bit of research for them and came in with an arch lever file big, with things like the cost of living, where people would stay, all these bits, all the minutiae. And there's so much detail in there, so much realism that you can search for. But a lot of times people just go, how many bullets are in my gun and how quickly can I kill somebody dead? And they gloss over the human aspect of the Old West, which was people trying to find a new place to live because they'd been run out of where they were before, or maybe they didn't have anywhere before. And that the expansion westwards, obviously then driving the first nations away from their area. It's a whole melting pot of various cultures coming together, and really something that can be explored in a wealth of detail.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're absolutely right. I mean, the period that we're covering now, the Wild West, in history isn't actually that long, 40 or 50 years, but in that time period and across that geography, there's so many variations. So what we've done, and we've done an awful lot of research to try and make the game as authentic as we can, recognizing that we can never get it 100% right. And we've tried to get good averages and good baselines for the GM, but then the GM can decide for themselves how much a whiskey costs in the bar, how much it costs to buy a horse, all that kind of stuff based on their own knowledge if they've got that. So we've done an awful lot of work on all of that. We want to try and reflect kind of some of the realities around the way weapons work. So you get single action guns where you have to cock the hammer first before you can fire. You get double action guns where you can just pull the trigger and it does both actions in one go. But that's a bigger pull, so your shot isn't quite so accurate, but it's quicker. So you've got the players have got some of those decisions to make as well about what kind of weapon they might want to carry, what kind of horse they might want to ride, what kind of business, if they want to run an outfit, what kind of business they want to run. The campaign game is driven by the turn of the seasons, and so every 3 months in game time, you have the turn of the season phase where you roll to see what the fortunes of the town are, how well they're doing, and that depends on how prosperous the town is. If it's a dump and there's no law, then chances are your fortunes are going to be bad. Similarly for you have your personal fortunes, and then you also see at that point how your business is doing. And the idea is in the campaign that you would maybe run 2 or 3 scenarios each season, and then go through the end of the season, and this would give a real sense of time passing. Because that's obviously one of the things in the West. People went west and spent years developing their businesses, their homes, building their families. And we want the campaign game to try and reflect some of that. So your town grows with you, the landscape grows with you, either well or badly, depending on actually how much effort and how much care the players want to put into that community. So we're really excited about it, and hope people come and have a look. We do have a quick draw rule set, quick start, which we're calling the quick draw, which is up on Drive-Thru RPG at the moment. So please go and download it. It's free. Have a play. Let us know what you think. You can also sign up for a newsletter at our website, which is www.effektpublishing.com. Effekt with a K, the Swedish way. There is a story about how that came about, but I won't bore you with that now. So we've been working on this game, playtesting it for the last 4 or 5 years. We're really excited about it. We're getting a lot of really good feedback. A lot of people are saying, great, a Wild West game without zombies. Brilliant, we've been waiting for this. So I really hope people are go and have a look at it, like what we're doing, and back us when the Kickstarter comes out.
It sounds fantastic. People should definitely pop across to Effekt Publishing, sign up to the newsletter, download the quick start rules. One final thing though, what's your podcast?
So the podcast is the Effekt Podcast. We started it, Matthew and I started it about 7 years ago, originally as the Coriolis Effect. So we started it as fans of Free League, and we started it because we loved the game Coriolis so much. We actually did quite well. We got an audience, which was a total surprise to us. We didn't expect anyone to listen to what we had to say. So we then expanded our remit a little bit. So we then changed it to just the Effekt Podcast, and that is where kind of the Effekt brand has come from. And so we're now Effekt Publishing. So that's still going. If people want to have a listen, we do a magazine show every 2 weeks. We have an AP actual play channel. There's quite a lot of Tales of the Old West play tests on the actual play channel, which I've been running, and Matthew and others have been playing. So feel free to have a listen to that. People seem to like it. It's just us around a table. We record our home games, so don't expect super production values, but it gives a feel of the fun that we have around the table playing this game, and hopefully you have a feel for the fun that new players will be able to have around the table as well.
That's what people want in a podcast, though, is the enthusiasm of gamers playing games. So there you go, folks. That's plenty for you to get sunk into. Let us know what you think below, and don't forget to keep an eye out for the Old West coming later this year.